So Godzilla's look, his design has changed a lot over the years. It changes a lot from movie to movie. There's hardly been 2 movies in a row where he looks the same. And I think there was even some slight designs between Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters. So that's just to ask, has his design been tweaked anymore again?
That's a really good question, because that's something that I put a lot of thought in, and I kind of agonized over, because Legendary, they definitely gave me the opening where whatever I wanted to do with Godzilla, I had an opportunity to do some changes to him. And that's very tempting, but at the end of the day, I felt like Mike Dougherty changed the fins to the classic maple leaf look, and that's probably something I would have done. But ultimately, what was really important to me is that I wanted this film to feel like that this was the legitimate Godzilla versus Kong. When I think back to the original movie, King Kong versus Godzilla, I remember having conversations with my friends talking about that film when I was a kid, and we were still debating who would win in a fight, Godzilla or King Kong. And that film, for one, doesn't really pick a winner. It's very much a draw. It's very unclear and muddy who wins. But I think even more than that, an issue I have with that movie, and it's a similar issue I have with Batman versus Superman, another versus movie, is that, just to talk about Godzilla versus King Kong, is, at that point, King Kong was very much a stop motion character. That's how we knew him. That's what he looked like. And then, obviously later on in the 70s, you have the Rick Baker version, and that's sort of like what we identified King Kong as, but it's still relatively similar to the original. The Toho version of King Kong in King Kong versus Godzilla, he's so different than any other version we've seen. It's the first time we've seen a guy in a suit, and just his look, he just looks way different than any version. So it doesn't quite feel like this is the definitive King Kong versus Godzilla, even if the movie had, kind of picked a winner. And so going into this, I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about Batman versus Superman, and it's a similar thing where, you have Christian Bale as the definitive Batman in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and that's who we knew him as. When Batman versus Superman comes around, that's the first time we see the recasted Batman as Ben Affleck. And it's kind of in a different universe. It's in the Zack Snyder universe, which is very different than the Nolan thing. And this is just my opinion, but my problem with that movie is just on a fundamental aesthetic level almost, that it felt like a different Batman, so it didn't feel like the true legitimate Batman versus Superman movie. And so even though I had the opportunity to change Godzilla, in retrospect, do I wish that I made his head a little bit bigger? I sometimes wish that his head was bigger. But he's so cool, and he's so he's had a couple movies already building up to this point. And I just wanted this to feel like the real matchup. I wanted you to walk away from this. I wanted there to be no more arguments on the playground. This is the decider. You don't have to debate it anymore. You watch this film. That's Godzilla. That's King Kong. They're beating the shit out of each other, and one wins. And, that's it.